What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Today, I got a special friend I haven't seen in a while, but I've known him for many, many years. And today, what we're going to talk about is I guess, one of the most viral things that happened this past weekend. And I've been wanting to pick his brain about it. And he actually called me yesterday, and he had a lot of stuff to talk about. So if you know James, James likes to talk, and
Oh my
talks a
gosh.
lot.
Thanks for that one.
So before we get started, kind of tell everybody who you are, what you do, and yeah, let's start with that.
My name is James Alexander. I own the Flying Walrus downtown McAllen. Been here since 2012. I've been through three mayoral administrations and a change in city managers. I've watched no fewer than, I want to say 200, but maybe 100 bars come and go in that time.
Jeez.
And we're the only ones that have kind of lasted through the whole thick and thin of it all.
Yeah, I remember we used to play there back in the day. I'm too not
Yeah, I
too
used to be a half decent
half
vocalist
decent
and
drummer.
a pretty good drummer.
Yeah, I remember those nights. They were fun nights. But what we want to talk about today is the occurrence that happened on Sunday morning, which Saturday night. So this happened what at 2 in the
Saturday
morning?
night,
All right, so.
2 in the morning, I
Yeah,
guess.
so before we talk about that, I kind of want everybody to know your background first. So besides being the bar owner of obviously the Flying Walrus, tell everybody what we talked about earlier before we started this podcast. Because you're a very smart man, and I don't think you give yourself credit, but I'm a dumb monkey here, right? I'm a
You
monkey.
know,
You, my
I'm dumb as they
friend,
come. I'm
you are
about dumb as they
credentialed
come.
here.
All right, you mean where I go to school?
Yes, where you went to
Uh,
school.
all right, I graduated from Edinburgh High School. I attended the University of Texas, degrees in government, history, American studies, minor in business, and I have a Juris Doctorate from St. Mary's in San Antonio.
All right, so now let's jump into the controversy, or maybe it's not controversy that
And
happened.
now I own a bar. So what am I doing with my life? Don't tell me I'm smart. I mean, good God! And I'm stuck downtown. What am I doing there?
We're about
Oh
to talk
God!
about all that. So let's talk about the incident that happened Saturday night around 2 a.m. So let me kind of paint the story for everybody. I'm going to set the scene. So downtown McAllen, full weekend mode, bars and clubs are packed, music loud, people spilling into the sidewalks as last call approaches, right? So this is a common scene in the entertainment district, downtown McAllen. Around 1:32 a.m., when the alcohol service ends and many are intoxicated, people start to exit the streets and they leave the bars. And this is the incident that occurred that night. So, approximately about 2 a.m., a minor, which was about 17 years old, was involved in an altercation with a female police officer. The minor allegedly physically assaulted the officer, sparking immediate intervention by law enforcement on the scene. The minor was detained and later arrested. And then the fiasco happened on Sunday morning when it seems like everybody was talking about this. So, can you kind of reiterate what happened that night? Were you aware of it that night?
Couldn't possibly. No, I wasn't out there. Our patrons weren't out there. Um, we've been doing it since 2012. We kind of let the band on Saturday nights play past 2 a.m.
Mhm.
Pick all the liquor, make sure it's picked up by 2:15. And our band has played as late as 3 a.m. They'll just keep going. We always did this kind of as a service to our patrons.
Yeah.
The intent was friends don't let friends drive drunk. Find each other, make a phone call, take care of each other, and get home safe. And as a kind of a tertiary benefit to all of that, is stay out of the mess of what's happening out on the street. So people will just they can't get a drink anymore,
Mhm.
but they'll order some water, they'll sit around, and the band will keep playing as long as you're tipping them. I mean, they're working musicians, right? Like they're not
Right.
working for free. But so it's good for the patrons, it's good for the artists. They'll make another $150 at the end of the night, $200, sometimes more if people are feeling generous, and it's just something we've always done. At the end of the day, I go all the way back to 2012, and they asked me, what did you want to do here? What was your overall vision? I said, kind of just wanted to open up a bar that I wanted to go to,
Mhm.
that appealed to me. And I figured if it appealed to me, it appealed to other people too.
For sure. And it has, because I mean, you've been there since 2013. So that's what,
All right, 12,
2012.
2012.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, why does Downtown McAllen have such a bad rep? I feel like it's started to have a bad rep maybe like 5, 6 years ago. Is what
Oh
that?
Lord, you'd be wrong. It had a bad rep as far back as 2011, 2010 before I opened.
Wow.
Um, it started really Richard Cortez's. You know, go back and say some names, drops to do some name dropping. Richard Cortez's kind of brainchild. It was also Heart of the City, if you remember that. You got to go all the way back to economic studies that were done in 2002 about the future of McAllen and where they expected things to go.
Hmm.
So the city, Roy Trevino was the city manager there, and him and Cortez and numbers of others that were involved had this brainchild of the 17th Street as being an entertainment district. They envisioned bars and restaurants and kind of like a variety of entertainment choices. They would throw things around like the Riverwalk. Okay, we weren't going to quite be the Riverwalk no matter what we did. But obviously, they had a little bit different vision than what they ended up with.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so let's jump into the altercation that happened this Saturday because obviously it blew up, and this is not the first time that these things happen, right?
Well, the thing is it, you're actually gonna have to ask me very few questions about the incident itself, and I'll tell you why. For one, it's a police matter.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I didn't see it. I wasn't part of it. Nobody I know was a part of it. But I will say, this is getting a little more. It's hit some emotional nails on the head, and I think fair or not, the fact that it was a female police officer does strike a different tone with a lot of different people, gets a little more attention,
Right.
and then the action itself, when you see it on social media or whatever, you're not really getting the entire video. You're getting like the highlights,
For sure.
and it's gruesome. It's absolutely gruesome. You almost want to turn away, like, oh God, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think at the end of the day, what I wanted to talk to you about is, you don't want to delve into the minutia of a specific incident. You want to talk about what's the history, what got us here, and what to do about it.
And also the minor issue, because I think that seems to be a huge issue because I get it. I was a minor at one point. I enjoyed going out on
I'm
purpose.
guilty of
Yeah,
sneaking into bars when I was 19 years old, and
for sure. I think
if
that's
there's a
one.
single viewer that you have now that didn't try it at least once, well, you weren't very cool. I
I
mean,
think there are a few
everybody tried.
actually. I think a lot of people have a huge problem with it. And I feel like a lot of it are the millennial parents now that have older kids that are starting to get into high school, the ones that are starting to go out. I think they feel completely different because they saw how they kind of screwed up and they don't want their children to screw up. So seeing it on social media circulating is kind of like an eye-opening thing. Like downtown is you see the Stephen Franz videos, right? Like he has put the downtown McAllen on the map, and I would say it's not
Not in a good way.
huge, not in a
Not
good
in a
way.
good way.
Yeah, not in a
No,
good
it's
way.
done. He's done the city of McAllen, and I mean, I don't know the guy personally or whatever, but he hasn't done anybody any favors. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what you want to look like. I know I don't want my kids to be portrayed in that way,
for
and
sure.
I'd probably be horrified if my niece or nephew popped up in one of those videos and he's doing them at what 2:15 in the morning. The
Yeah,
worst possible end result. Uh,
yeah. It's the end result of the
I
night.
you're yeah, the end result of the night. I mean, can we do these videos at 9:30, 10 o'clock when people are just walking in? I think you're going to get a little bit different reaction out of some people,
Yeah,
but it is what it is, and what he's doing is entertaining.
for
I'll,
sure.
I'll give him that, and but it's not doing any public image
Yeah.
uh, services to the city of McAllen or really the RGV.
So let's jump into the problems here because this is a lasting problem. A lot of people talk about the violence that happens every single week downtown McAllen. What do we do?
Hey, actually, I wanted to uh, interrupt right there because I know that it seemed like I was being dismissive of the incident. It's
Yeah,
really just because I didn't see it.
for sure.
I wasn't involved in it. No, but what happened is horrible.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
thing is, being here since 2012, it's kind of about every 6 to 16 months, and it varies from time to time. There's some sort of incident at this level, and it's just like, well, unfortunately for a guy like me that's been here as long as I have, and
Hmm.
with the history that I have, this is truly just another incident in a long line of incidents that go 15 years back.
So do you think
Uh,
that this will just be forgotten in the next 2 weeks, or what does that mean?
I think that the secret to politics, if you go back to the early 20th century, Pulitzer said you take what's on the front page and you put it at the back page.
Hmm.
So the next thing will come up a couple of weeks from now, and this will end up being something that's talked about over the dinner table. It's like, oh, do you remember that one time that one officer? Oh yeah, I saw that, and then that's the end of the conversation.
Hmm.
I think the hope is that it won't be that easily dismissed. The hope of every time something like this happens is that somebody will actually do something about it. That there might be so that it might fuel the change. That this might be the precipice. This might be where like everybody goes, oh,
Let's take
turd
a
burglars,
look at
let's
this.
go, right?
Yeah.
Um, and reevaluate. Unfortunately, I had 14 years of experience. I can tell you no other incident has brought about any kind of fundamental change.
Hmm.
I am definitely not optimistic that this one will either.
Hmm. That's
Uh,
unfortunate.
we've had shootings. There have been this at the end of the day. While it looks horrific, it's really just an assault.
Yeah.
There have been a number of assaults. So, other than that, the fact that it was a female police officer that was assaulted,
And a minor.
uh, and a well, wait, oh, the minor was assaulted. Or are you talking about
No, no,
by a
the
minor?
minor did the assaulting to the police officer.
Oh, okay. Not
Yeah.
and a minor. This is the real issue here is that the female police officer was assaulted.
Yeah.
Um, it's getting a little extra attention.
Sure. So
Now
then,
the question is what's that going to turn into?
right. So then kind of tell me what happens downtown. How many officers are downtown at any moments throughout the night?
Typically, what you'll do is you'll have two squad cars on 17th and Austin. They'll have anywhere the 2 to 3 more squad cars on Beaumont and 17th, 2 or 3 again on Chicago and 17th, and another two all the way down on Dallas. So on a typical Saturday night, there's probably 10 squad cars. Um, that number ranges from 8 to 10. On a problem is that they're also doing it on like say a Thursday night when nobody's down here, and you'll see two squad cars all the way down on Austin, a couple on Beaumont, and a couple on Chicago, and I probably have I want to say at least 10 hours of video of police officers just kind of looking at each other and patrolling empty streets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
That's not
leading
to take away from what's happening on Saturday. Saturday's a different animal.
right.
So I don't mean to digress too much. There's definitely a lot going on Saturday.
So you're saying about 10 squad cars for how many people? Like just assume the heights of the Saturday or Friday night. How many people are downtown?
Well, have you done a little bit of research?
No,
How
I
many
have not.
bars would you say are downtown?
Well, there's quite a few.
Okay. Let's say that each one has an average load capacity of about 200, and most of them are near capacity.
Wow.
So you just do the number over. I'd say that there's 4 to 5 thousand people on a really big, busy Saturday. And the truth is, anywhere you pull 4 or 5 thousand people and then you introduce alcohol, I don't care where it is, there's going to be some problems. There's
Right.
going to be some issues. It's going to happen. Um, I think unfortunately for a long time it's just kind of just been like pushed aside like it's somebody else's issue. Uh, it's not. The Chamber of Commerce is 3 blocks from here. City
Hmm.
Hall is 2 blocks from here. I don't know how you get more of a central McAllen issue than downtown McAllen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, yeah, that's interesting because I feel like a lot of people like I live right here in Mission and I'm not too far from downtown McAllen. Like, so I think a lot of the vicinity everywhere around, everybody knows downtown McAllen. And I think it's also obviously has been getting a lot of press lately, but I kind of already felt it teetering off. Like, this is what, Wednesday? And
What
we're
do you mean teetering up? Oh,
like, it's
yeah.
teetering off. Like, nobody's talking about it much on social media. So it's
Well,
teetering
the
off.
thing
Today's
is,
Wednesday. And, but,
I think for most people in the city of McAllen, we've been hearing these kind of stories about downtown McAllen for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, it really is just the next in a long string of kind of bad stories, and not to be too much of a pun here, but a punch in the eye or a black eye for the city of McAllen. Um, it's validated or not, it's been my experience that City Hall kind of thinks of downtown as an afterthought or something that might eventually go away. Or it's not really, okay, there are issues there, but let's worry about something else.
Right.
Uh, Only with this incident have we ever seen like the mayor jump up on an interview and say, we're going to do something. And then the rest of the commissioners kind of jump on the bandwagon and say, well, we're going to do something.
Yeah.
Uh, this
So
problem
do you
didn't
have
happen
any
last week.
faith that anything will happen?
I would say that I would be very, very, very cautiously optimistic. And
Hmm.
that's only because I'm daring to be so. But nothing in my 14-year history has showed me any kind of proactive uh, policy towards what's going on. I got that might not be the right word, but it's always reactionary. It's
Right.
always, well, here's something going on, let's say something about it. Oh, that happened. Well, now let's get excited. Um, the police down here have needed a little bit extra support and a little extra funding for a while now. I had a meeting with the city manager. About the only commissioner that actually showed any interest was Lozano, JJ, and he's not the District 5 city commissioner, but he took it upon himself to be like, okay, let's have a conversation.
Hmm.
I sat in with the city manager himself. I invited Bert Garrett from CNA, and we advised them at that time that they probably needed some more cameras down here, or they needed some sort of overlying surveillance. We suggested, there's been a lot of suggestions over the years. It's just, I apologize. I almost didn't want to do this. We had a conversation
Yeah.
because, and I think you keep trying to get it out of me, but man, we've been providing a roadmap on what to do downtown since 2012,
Yeah.
and nobody's done anything. They've
So,
just let it do what
let's-
it's doing on its own.
so why does downtown feel like an afterthought to a lot of these people that can actually make the decisions and push these things forward?
Well, then I challenge you. What policies or actual changes have happened in the last 13 years that you can tell me about?
Hmm. Yeah, you're right.
What, if anything, has been done or instituted, or what kind of policy change? It's the same sergeant running the same security detail for the last decade. It'd be Officer Flores, and nothing's changed. There have been pleas. I went before the city council twice in the last year, and I was a little angry, and other times I was cordial and whatever. I can get on both, but it's very frustrating. Um, I can't speak for every bar owner. I'm not even going to try to. In
Hmm.
fact, you know what? 8 years ago, I could have told you the names of most of the bar owners down here. Truth is, I can't tell you the names of most of them now. And the the reason that is that the turnover on these bar owners is so rapid that it's almost like somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I just opened up so and so place on Chicago and 17th," and I'm like, "Cool, good luck."
Is that like,
And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, "It'll be gone in a year,
damn,
gone in a year and a half." I said, "You make it 3 years, we'll talk." But
talk.
that
We'll introduce
that
you.
I'm not even being rude about it. I mean, anybody with any kind of familiarity downtown knows that the turnover rate is horrendous. It's crazy,
Yeah.
which begs the question: what kind of vetting process exists?
Hmm.
Who are you allowing to rent? Because, and then there's a lot of passing the buck. If you ask the city, they'll say, "Oh, we need the landowners to do this."
Hmm.
And then the landowners will, well, why isn't the city doing this? And then you've got the chief of police unwilling to accept phone calls. He's
Wow.
not talking to anybody. And then I've heard from I spoke to one sergeant. I'm not gonna say his name because he didn't have the authority to speak on behalf of the police department.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of made the mistake of telling me when we had talked about some of the underage drinking, and he goes, "Isn't that TABC's job?" This was from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to share his name, but it was definitely said. If you want to, and anybody wants to ask later off camera, I can let you know, and I can validate the time and date stamp on that.
So let's talk about that because the TABC no longer exists around here, right?
No, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. TABC had its last McAllen office closed in 2022.
Hmm.
TABC as a whole had their budget diced almost in half during
Wow.
COVID. The restructuring state agencies and such. So if I haven't seen a TABC agent since 2017.
Huh.
It's 2025.
Right.
I have never seen a TABC agent since 2017. When I first came down, they were in and out like routinely. You'd see them every month. I have not seen one since 2017.
Wow.
So you can say, well, now the TABC is not doing their job. The TABC does not have the resources. If you're waiting on TABC to show up, it's just the same thing. It's another way to pass the buck.
Hmm.
The question is, who's going to step to the plate and
enforce
and take the reins here? Because right now you have the city manager saying he's not going to tell the chief of police how to do his job. Chief of police, and I'm talking about the Foley. I haven't met the guy. I've called 6 or 7 times. I've talked to his secretary, said, "Can we set up some sort of meeting?" I've never got a return phone call.
Jeez.
I've reached out. Most recently, I decided to take a step back and start reaching out to a lieutenant. I went in 3 different times. Finally, because of this incident, they sent a sergeant out to talk to me. And in that conversation, this was just 3 days ago, isn't that TABC's job?
Huh.
And I said, you know what? I'm not going to hold you to it, and I won't quote you by name, and I'm going to hold to what I said there. But it's that kind of thinking.
Yeah, it's kind of just
that it's somebody else's job.
Right.
It's somebody else's responsibility, or it'll take care of itself. John Ingram was guilty of that back in 2012 when I got here. He did good things too, but with downtown specifically, I guess it's kind of that Republican mindset where a laissez-faire attitude. It's like the market will work itself out. Things will get cleaned up. Things will take care of themselves. And in business, we've kind of figured out back in 2029, pure laissez-faire economics does not work. Hence the Great Depression. It always takes a little bit of oversight or a little bit of curving in the right direction.
Yeah,
if you and I took $10 million a piece or $20 million a piece, and we decided we're going to build a retail space, 24 units, what are we going to do? We're going to take the left side and the right side. We're going to put it in our cornerstone shops, right? You're going to get a major brand and you're going to put them on the left. You're going to get a major brand. And you're going to put them on the right. You're going to have 24 stores in the middle. You know what you're not going to do? Put 24 Starbucks in a row.
Right.
You know what you're not going to do? 24 hair salons. Why? Because it's an economic model that will not succeed. But right now, there's nobody maneuvering or kind of curtailing or trying to guide the ship. It's just like let it go.
Interesting.
And I don't know. You got 15 years or longer. I guess the inception of this was 2009, 3 years before I was here, and nobody's really taken the reins at any point, other than the heart of the city, which stopped getting city funding in 2010
Hmm.
and ceased existing as an entity shortly thereafter.
Wow.
So there is nobody.
Huh.
And it's funny when the mayor's like, well, we're going to do something. Um, we're all old enough to have heard the adage, when you point one finger out, you got four fingers pointing home.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's interesting though, because like what happens? Like what is the policy then? Like what does the mayor suggested that you raise the age to 21. As from last thing that I heard, that's what it was. That's what he suggested. So what is
yeah.
the policy when there is a minor that goes into a bar? Like what does that look like?
And then there's gonna, and I might catch some flack for this response, but if I go to Miami and I take a flight tomorrow, and I walk into one of these clubs that gets 100, I mean that gets 800 or gets 1,500 people in the night, are they letting in 18 and up? Yes, of course they are. If I go to LA and I'm trying to go in one of these clubs that gets 1,000 people in it, are they allowing 18 and up? Yes, of course they are. It's not a valley thing.
Hmm.
This is nationwide. 18-year-olds can fight and die in Iraq. 18-year-olds can walk into that voting booth and vote for the mayor. But suddenly they're not mature enough to be around a place where people 21 and over are drinking alcohol.
Hmm.
Um, should somebody 18, 19, or 20 years old be consuming alcohol? No. But I would have to say, Mr. Mayor, you don't need a new law. You need to enforce the ones you have.
So what does the law look like right now that enforces that?
My experience is that there isn't any kind of, back to this passing the buck onto the TABC or passing the buck here, or perhaps the police need a little more funding and a little more help. Um, but then there's the old, it's going to be what it's going to be, and we're just here to, make sure nobody dies today, right?
Yeah.
Like it's what are the proactive steps? What I'm very interested in hearing, and I would invite McAllen PD or any of the others to. And believe me, I'm scared of this. I was like, oh, don't take it out on me. I'm not against the McAllen PD.
Right.
I understand that their job is difficult, but
Hmm.
I'm also a business owner,
Right.
and whatever actions they take out there, they're at least somewhat responsible or culpable for this image problem, because it can be handled differently. What that is and how that is, I don't have every answer. I don't. But I do know that sitting here for the last at least 10 years and not addressing it directly and reevaluating it, maybe on a biannual every 2 years, let's reevaluate. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about what our plan for the future is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you live here, or I live here, and all the developments happening on the periphery of McAllen. They're talking about a $75 million bond that they want to do to develop another piece out by the airport.
Yeah, at the
You
Boa
got 75.
Reservoir.
Yeah, you got $75 million to spend. Shouldn't you go to your downtown and fix that up first?
Yeah, even
No, you want to
for
move on
drainage
and move
issues.
on and push what's happening downtown to the back end.
Yeah.
Uh, I know this is, you don't know, but it goes just because it makes sense. You spend 75 million on a new project, there's a lot of pockets to line.
Hmm.
You fix what you already have, it's a lot less money dumped into one man's pockets.
Hmm.
And so you
Yeah.
don't know, but sometimes you follow the money, you kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe
Put them together.
there's a little, like, we're adults, and I sometimes I wonder when politicians and they're talking, we're Texans first and foremost, not RGV people or whatever. We're Texans, and we're intelligent. We've been through some, I don't know, I guess you can bleep it out, but we've been through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
We're all tired of it. And but there's something special about RGV because we are a little different because we're tired of the shit. We're smart, and we're a little more street smart, I think, than the average Texan because
I would say
we've got a little different, right? So we know when somebody talks about I don't want to get off topic too much with illegal things and stuff like that, but we grew up here.
Yeah, we know.
We know. We have a sense. We're not stupid. But if you're saying it and you're talking about it and you kind of think it and you kind of know it, what are you doing about it?
Yeah, you're right. Let's go back to the Texas law because I did do research about the Texas law and it's
Oh,
not
tell me
vague. It's
about House Bill 1819.
I believe so. Well, it's the Texas bill about for underage drinking in Texas bars. So this is
Oh, okay.
specifically for that. So what the Texas law says is that if a minor is caught drinking in a bar, the minor gets fined, may lose their license, and faces community service. The bartender who served them can be fined or even arrested, and the bar itself can be fined, have its license suspended, or shut down. So this is Texas law right here.
It
And
already exists. The
yeah.
mechanisms in which to enforce what you have or want, the end result of it already exists.
So they're just
If
not
you're
being
sitting
enforced.
up, they're just not being enforced.
Hmm.
If you you can, and you don't even have to like go in and be absurd about it. Like I'm not saying march 5 police officers into a bar and start IDing everybody
Right.
because that's crazy. It really is. It sounds like, well, why don't you just have the cops walk in all the bars? I mean, I don't want to go to Chili's and have 5 officers walk by me and my family and start carting everybody at the bar.
Right.
You know, like you can't really do that, but it's not hard to if you find a minor and he's walking out of X bar and he's inebriated, to follow up and be like, who served him? Who did this?
Right.
Or, and there's other mechanisms too. I'm not going to tell the police how to do their job. I'm
For
really
sure.
not. But I am going to say do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but do it. You can arrest, you can fine, or otherwise, 19-year-old that's drinking downtown.
Yeah.
Then you find the bartender that served him, and you arrest that young man or woman, and then you shut the bar down, and you let them come back and then reevaluate how they're running their business. I'm not here to defend every bar downtown.
Right.
If anything, I'm sitting here telling you there is a problem. There's been a problem. It's not a new thing. We've been surviving Walrus with this stigma for a very long time.
Right.
I'm a frustrated business owner that's had zero kind of support from the city or interest from anyone in the administration in doing things the correct way. And while we do our best to lead by example, we're not perfect. But I think we do envision, at least embody to some degree, a small piece of what was originally thought that 17th Street was going to be: live music, food, decent drinks, and a different kind of ambiance.
Yeah.
Not 20 bars with the same DJ. And I feel bad because I'm not here and I don't want to bash every other bar. And there's some good bar owners too, but there's some bad ones too.
Yeah.
Now, I'll ask you the question.
Yeah.
Whose job is it to differentiate between the two, and how do you deal with it? If you want to try to answer that, or if you want me to expand,
Yeah, go ahead and expand because you're the one with the experience here, so you are the experts.
In my, I actually do have a few ideas on how that could be done. The mechanisms already exist. The city, only downtown do you have to get the special use permit. Parking, it's a $1,500 charge. If you open a bar anywhere else in McAllen, you don't have to pay this. This is only for downtown. And in it, you have to describe what is it that you plan on opening. your basic plan. Like, I plan on opening this kind of club, and I'm going to do this, and this is going to be my security plan, and everything else. Well, the city planning development has to pass that. It has to go through building permits. It's got to go through everybody else. So there are so many checks along the way.
Mhm.
So before anybody points at anybody, you got to go back and be like, well, where'd you sign off? And the funny part is and then you want to blame the landowner. Well, don't rent to them. Okay, well, if you want to encourage your landowners, well, where are they incentivized? Because I would definitely say that at least some of the landowners down here are at least mildly culpable, if not hugely culpable, for some of what's going on. Because are they running a background check on the guy that shows up that wants to open this bar?
Right.
Are they even running a credit check? I have to say that largely, at least some of them, the check cashed, rent it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but then again, they're a landowner. They're not in the bar industry.
Exactly.
They're not trying to run a bar. They're just renting.
Right.
So what responsibility do they have, if any? Now, you would hope as a good person, as a citizen, that you'd be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't rent to this guy. You know, maybe you would have some sort of. But if you're going to tell me that these people have had some sort of checks or not checks and balances, that's not the right word, but accountability in what they're doing and who they're renting to, that they're doing any kind of background check or they're trying to filter through the good and the bad, I'd say there's been none at all. Check cashed. And here's the real trick. You say, okay, say you shut down half these bars in the next 2 weeks. I mean, like, if you react in that way,
right?
Worst case scenario, right? You shut them down. I assure you that there is an endless stream of persons with 100, 150 grand that'll open the next bar. So that's not stopping.
Right.
Like, you can kick one out and get another, and they're going to keep coming.
So what are you suggesting, that they do background checks or credit checks, or what does that look like?
Well, there's another one here too. If you can't hold the landowners accountable, before you can get a liquor license, it goes up before that city. And there sits the mayor, the city manager, and every commissioner. And they sign off. Passed, 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 passed. And for the most part, as long as you're not within 300 feet of a school or church, rubber stamp. Sorry to ask you, well, what are you doing? What are you looking at? Oh, or it's the same thing saying, well, I assume TABC would look into that for us.
Right.
I assume. You play sports? Remember your coach? The more you assume, the more you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And it really just revolves the same story over and over again.
It's kind of kicking the bucket
people
down the street.
pointing at another guy saying somebody else should have done it. Or who's responsible. And the truth is, as long as somebody else is always responsible, nobody's responsible.
Right. Yeah.
And if nobody has to be responsible, why would anybody choose to be?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, why not pass it off to the next person?
Yeah, and right now I think that person doesn't exist. There is nobody to point at. There's no one person to go to. If you have a problem downtown, say you at a bar, who are you going to go talk to?
Yeah.
Because I've tried to talk to the chief. He didn't answer the phone call. I tried to talk to his lieutenant. Nobody responded to me. I've gone in and yelled and screamed in front of the city commission. Nobody talked to me. I've told them about Bullards downtown. I've talked to them about handicap parking that is non-existent.
Don't they have to have ADA parking there? Like by
ADA
law?
says that you need to have equal accessibility. Doesn't exist. If you're blocking off all the streets in an 8-block radius, you've literally effectively told anybody that was over 65 or otherwise impaired. I don't know. I don't want to get into the PC battle of what words to use.
Right.
You told them, park 2 blocks away and walk your butt over here.
Wow.
Yeah, because there is no accessibility. It
Right.
doesn't exist. It's just another in a long line of things that hasn't been addressed because there is no general oversight. There hasn't been anybody that said, this is going to be my baby, I'm going to take care of it. There is no city group whose job is to control this. It doesn't not exist.
Wow.
And so I would contend that actually, oh God, man, I don't want to be horrible about it, but I'm kind of see. We talked on the.
Yeah, I can feel your frustration, and I feel it's been pent up for many years.
I've had this conversation so many times over the last 3 days. I really didn't even want to do this podcast. Uh, Actually, my mom was one of the people that said, kind of questioned my manhood on why I wouldn't put myself out there. She said, "You fought for downtown for so long, you need to get out there and say something."
Yeah.
And you asked about it, and I skated around it, and I would have to say that the current administration, as is, it is definitely my feeling that they do not, they are not equipped. They do not know what to do, nor is there any clear vision or plan. Um, I'm sorry, with the exception of Sebi Haddad, how many old bartenders do you have in City Hall Council? How many old bar managers do you have? How many people in the entertainment business? I don't see a lot.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you don't know. It's not really so much of a knock to them, but it sounds like a knock. But they got backgrounds in law and real estate development.
Yeah.
I think what it's going to come down to, and people don't want to hear it. If I was in the mayor's position, yeah, I think it probably will take an outside, a disconnected, third party to come in and reevaluate. I mean, there hasn't been any kind of economic development. Go ahead and ask. They're going to do a workshop on Friday. Show up to it and ask them, when's the last time you did an economic study for downtown? I just happen to know this because I was talking. I don't want to do too much name dropping, but I've had so many phone calls talking to a friend. From what my understanding is, the last one was in 2002.
2002?
Yeah.
2002. We're in 2025.
I don't want to do it on here, but we can.
Wow.
I can send you an email. I can't really 100% validate that or whatever. But what I can assure you, if it's not really, and 2002 was the heart of the city stuff where they had talked about La Plaza Mall and they had talked about reinvigorating downtown. And that's when they kind of outlined and said, an entertainment district would bring in X number of jobs. This would be a boon to the economy. These are the things that you should do. And there was a whole kind of deal. And then that plan was initiated for the most part under Cortez and then all but abandoned when Darling came in. And so we never saw the full end of what that was supposed to be. In fact, it was like, oh, well, downtown's kind of ugly, or we don't really like it down there. There's a quote unquote ghetto people down there. Let's just push that to the side. Let's go build some parks. Let's go build a new shopping center in North McAllen, and let's just move away from it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll disappear.
Yeah, and it disappears, but you know what? It's like a cancer. It doesn't disappear. It gets worse if you don't treat it.
Yeah.
And that's really what's happened here at the end of it, too, is that let's react. You're like, oh, shoot. But, my arm was hurting this whole time.
Right.
And then, heart attack. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. It really is.
So then let's talk about what's happening this Friday, because they're gonna have a workshop for everyone, right? What's gonna happen in the workshop?
I'm not sure what's about to happen. There's definitely a lot of energy to do something. I hope that somebody watches this, and I feel like I've just talked so much. Who the heck knows?
So
I don't have a lot of faith. I don't. You and I talked over the phone.
Yeah.
About 2.5 months ago, I resolved that the Flying Walrus would no longer be in downtown 17th Street. We're going to move. We're out.
So you're moving out of downtown after.
Yeah, it's another big part of the reason I didn't want to do this podcast, because I was like, I've carried the banner and I've gone to the city for 13, 14 years asking, and I mean little things. Most recently, I asked for could you open Beaumont, Bullards on two sides for a lighted area, a lit area, Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash. Currently, if you pick up a Lyft and try to come up downtown, you're either all the way down on Austin, but because there's a federal building there, though, they tell the Lyft to get out of the way. Like, you can't be here. You're next to a federal building. So the majority of Lyfts downtown are picked up off Bicentennial, where there is no lighting.
And there's tons of
where
traffic.
It's dark, and there's tons of traffic.
Wow.
And they're just hopping in and out of Lyfts on Bicentennial.
Jeez.
But apparently, the safety of those people has never really been a concern. That's not important. Then there's things like you talk about predatory Lyft drivers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's overblown or underblown or whatever. I'm not going to make it about that issue. But it is something that comes up. Now, if you were a quote-unquote predatory Lyft driver, are you more likely to go pick up or hope to pick up a patron in a dark, traffic-infested Bicentennial?
Yeah.
And make them walk off into a dark area to get picked up? Or how about lit in front of 4 police officers?
Right. Yeah, that makes
it's so pragmatic. It's so obvious. It's so just make it accessible and make it simple so that people can get in and out safely with light.
So
And
what other ideas you got in your brain? Because I feel like you got like 1,000 of them.
They do at the end of the day. I will contend do need more police officers down here on Saturday nights.
So you have 10 units right now. How many are you thinking?
Well, just because you have 10 squad cars doesn't mean that you have 2 officers per squad car. It's not like there's 20 officers down here.
Right.
You know, they don't need a lot, but they need at least a steady evaluation. I'd ask Mr. Foley when the last time he physically came down here on a Saturday night was, or Friday night, or a Thursday, or Wednesday, or Tuesday. I've been guilty of going out there from time to time and yelling at some of these police officers, and sometimes they're just doing their job, and sometimes they're out of line.
Yeah.
They really are. And as a business owner, it's my responsibility. If they're doing something wrong, I need to say something. Otherwise, people just go about doing whatever they're going to do.
Right.
And I don't want to get into particulars of it, but I do think that they are not given the resources, all of the resources that they need. Also, but it goes deeper than that, because while what happened to female officer in this case, that's horrible. I feel like I shouldn't even say it, but I have watched a number of occasions. Some of it I have some recording for. Officers, at least let's say out of hack. I'm wondering, what's the training like? I believe me, the young man that punched this woman, he deserves the full weight of the law.
Right.
And I'd like to see that, but
even look at that.
I'm interested in what were the 5 minutes
prior
leading up to this event, because really what we get is the highlight reel.
For sure. And there was at least 30 people around them.
Yeah, who knows? And the thing is, some of these officers, not all, most of them are good. They are a little aggressive. It's almost like the way that you ever play football as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
You had that one coach that you kind of liked and the other one that just barked at you all the time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, I don't like that guy. And we still remember who that a-hole was. Well, you got a couple of those too. So, but we're human beings, right? So, that you got good and you got bad, and that's why you got sergeants, and that's why you got lieutenants, and that's why you got chiefs, and and there's a pecking order, and things can be fixed.
Sure.
But besides just additional resources, what's the training look like? Has there been specialized training in how to control crowds? Has there been specialized training in de-escalation tactics? Mm-hmm. What are your tactics? What is your protocol? And if you're going to watch the 5 minutes prior to this, I think we already know the answer.
Yeah.
I'd be very, very shocked. Or I'd be pleasantly shocked to see that, oh yeah, this and this was done to first de-escalate before charging in. And I don't know. I didn't see it.
Right.
I didn't see it develop. That's why I said you kept asking me about the minutia of this particular incident.
Yeah.
But this isn't the only kind of incident that happens down here. There are fights. There are arrests. There are things happening in different spots. And it's got to be frustrating for the police officers.
For sure.
You know, I mean, they're doing it in, out, and not seeing the same people, not getting a little bit of the support that they need. And maybe at this point, as much as I keep throwing Chief Foley for not responding, his name out there, maybe he's frustrated because maybe he has asked for something and not got what he needed.
Right.
I don't know. But all I know is that everybody's blaming somebody else or saying it's somebody else's responsibility. And it goes from the mayor down to the guys in the permit office. So, oh, that's somebody else's job.
Right.
Everybody's passing the buck. There is no coordinated effort to control, to assess, to develop this area. It does not exist.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, it's like it's the forgotten bastard child of it's just over there. Leave it over there and it'll take care of
It's
itself.
really unfortunate. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's like Cortez's bastard child, and then it became Darling's problem. Now we got a new mayor, Roy Trevino, and then you got and then now we got Javier, and who knows? You know, it's just like, oh, I didn't create this problem.
Right.
Well, it's like I said, it's that sore arm. Oh man, why is my arm always sore? And then you have a heart attack, and then you're like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah. It's unfortunate
you know,
because I really do enjoy downtown McAllen when I do make it out there.
it really could have been so great. It still can be, and I can tell you, even though I kind of let the new out of the bag, I guess I point out that I was planning on moving because this incident is not the reason that we're going to move. We're going to move because there isn't enough parking. We're going to move because our clientele, we're not creating these problems. I for the last 3 years, we haven't had any kind of fist fight like this in our bar. It's not something that really happens here, but we're surrounded by it.
Right.
Some of my disagreements with the police and then my appealing to the city, saying, hey, help me with the Uber and the Lyft. Allow for a handicap accessible parking. Allow for just really basic stuff. The city just put in bullards on Austin and 17th Street. By bullards, they're giant posts like they have at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
They come out of the ground. They're about 3.5 feet high. If you try to go through that, you couldn't get through it with a tank, with an Abrams, because they're about 3,500 a piece, and they're solid steel. They come out of the ground. They're installed. They've been there for 4 or 5 months. They have not been lifted one time.
Wow.
Not once. It probably, I mean, I can only guess what it cost: $35,000, $25,000, $40,000. Who knows what they spent?
Wow.
But somehow, from city engineering to the police, nobody's either handed over the key.
Huh.
The sergeant I was telling you about, I talked to, I advised him, and I said, why aren't you guys using the bullards? He said, what bullards?
Wow.
I said, they're out there. And he goes, well, he goes, are they easy to use? And I said, have you ever turned on a light switch before?
Jeez.
They're that easy to turn on. There's a little panel. You come and unlock it, turn it on. They come out of the ground. And the reason this is because there was an incident 7-8 years ago where a car came down the wrong side of 17th Street, smashed into a patrol car, and did what you do when you hit a patrol car: move it all the way and keep driving. So it was back then, 7 or 8 years ago. I said, you need to have bullards all the way down here. You won't have this issue. It's for the safety of the pedestrians.
Wow.
They finally got them up over here, and what? They're not even being used.
Jeez.
They're not being used. They have never come out of that ground, except for the first day that I saw them out there testing them to see that they worked.
Huh.
I have never seen the police officers use them.
Wow.
So right now, they've got 2 squad cars over there, sitting there, using them as de facto barricades.
Huh.
The squad cars, when there's working bullets. Just lift
Wow.
them. I'm pretty sure those squad cars could be used on our streets, could be used in any other part of McAllen, could be out on a highway, could be doing something like that, rather than being used as $40,000 barricades.
Jeez. Wow. That's crazy.
This is the level of lack of communication between the different offices
That's unfortunate.
that's happening. Man, I can go on for a while about some
Well,
other things too.
we're almost done here, so I'll let you go with the next question. But this event that's happening Friday. So
Okay.
this workshop that's going on, I want to pick your brain again. What do you think that they're going to talk about? Are they going to give you solutions to the problem? Are they going to tell you, you
It's
guys got to do this, you got to follow this policy?
I will attend, and I expect very little. The fact that the mayor said we're going to make everything 21 plus, it already told me there wasn't a plan.
Hmm.
I'm going to making everything 21 plus. You think I solved anything? Because you got a phone in front of you. Let's YouTube some of these brawls that are happening on Nolana with some of these bars, and those are grown adults.
Right.
It's primarily about people that own and run and operate the bars, for one. Hold them accountable. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not harassing. You're just doing your job as a city official or as a police officer or whatever to hold. When you have a liquor license, there is a standard that you should be at. And there's nothing wrong with holding people with a little bit of accountability. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not against it. That's why I say you might have thought I was going to come up here and fight for all of 17th. I'm actually going to tell you there are problems. There's no doubt. But yeah, if I can sit here and cry a little bit,
It'll be
we've been doing it right. We've been doing it right on 17th Street since 2012.
Yeah.
We do have a good reputation. You know, walk into some other bars and say, "Hey, do you like downtown?" They're like, "Hell no, I'm never going downtown. It's ghetto." "Oh, do you like the Flying Walrus?" I say, "Oh, I love the Flying Walrus." You're like, "What?" Flying Walrus is in the middle of 17th. It's the middle of 17th downtown, and it's cool that we're able to do that. But it also is the reason that I have to move. I have given the city 13, 14 years to do something, and it's been nothing but false promises. And yeah, we're going to do something. We're going to do something. Even the quote I saw today from the mayor is, "Yes, we're going to do something." I have quotes on my phone from 2 different city commissioners. "Oh, we're going to do something. Oh, we'll talk. Oh, yeah." And nothing.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
And there really isn't. And so do I expect any kind of anything to happen? Probably not. It's still my intent to move on. That's why I kind of almost didn't know if it was my place to do this podcast, except that so many people have said that you had been fighting for downtown for so long, like to please give it one more go.
Yeah.
And so I'm here, and yeah, no, I still hope that it all works out. I think inevitably it will, but it's going to take the right administration, and the right leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and a concerted actual direction and effort, a coordinated direction and effort. Which means the chief, the city manager, the mayor, and everybody's going to have to get in the same. They're going to have to actually formulate a policy in which everybody works and holds each other accountable and works together.
Right.
And sometimes that's it's not the world we live in. They unfortunately, a lot of people with their own interests, or maybe that's not the most important thing to them. And up until this incident, I'm not wrong to say that this wasn't anybody's even thought.
Hmm.
I don't think the mayor thought about downtown one time, not even for a minute,
Hmm.
up until this moment. I don't think there's been. I can take you out there, and I haven't seen a single improvement.
Yeah.
I've seen it took, and we had to fight for it. Bert Guerra and myself to get them to turn on the lights
Jeez. Turn on
because
lights.
so many lights. I'm talking about the lamp posts didn't have light bulbs in them.
Wow.
More than half. The only commissioner that, and this isn't even his district, that kind of got on top of it and responded in any way was Lozano. He took it upon himself. I think he's frustrated with me because I don't know. I talk too much, or I'm still mad. It's fine. Whatever. God bless. But I mean, it was a battle to get the lights on.
Jeez.
And I don't know any other bar or restaurant owner so positioned that over my 13 or 14 year career that I've met every mayor at some point. I haven't actually met this mayor face to face, but even having to go before the city commission to fight my case
Yeah.
for things like lights and accessibility and handicap parking and Uber and Lyft, to be able to say, please, can a Lyft driver get a light bulb? It's absurd.
Wow.
I don't want to fight this thing. So no, I'm very disappointed in the city of McAllen. I expect very little, and I say this with 14 years of experience because I can go back on 14 years of people kind of turning the other cheek and just like it's happening somewhere else,
Right.
or you watch the video and you say, "Oh God, those people are acting so horrible. It's so ghetto." Well, brother, those are your neighbor's kids,
Yeah. Somebody.
or
Somebody.
your aunt's kids, or no, those aren't my aunt's kids, or
Yeah.
whatever, or my niece and nephew. Well, then they went to school with your niece or nephew. These people were not imported here.
Right.
They're from McAllen, Far, Edinburgh, San Juan, Alamo, Mission. These kids are Valley RGV kids,
Yeah. Somebody
and they're
messaged
not
the page.
going anywhere.
Yeah. Somebody posted on the page. They thought it was a fight in Mexico. And I was like, no, it's right here.
I mean, it's like racist, right? And it's like, and then you look who it is, and it's another Hispanic saying something racist. And you're like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, seriously? No, these people aren't from somewhere else. So when you're busy
Right
casting
here.
stones, I hope that you're realizing that these are your neighbor's kids,
Yeah.
or two houses down, or three houses down. These are your, and if you don't believe it, I mean, I kind of have a sense of community where I say your kids are my kids. Like, we all owe it to these kids, and they're not going to disappear. And then he's talking about curfews and stuff like that. And it's funny. It's like, do you not know the law? In 2023, the Senate, which ironically, the Republican House and Senate, passed 1819. Cities and counties cannot legally enforce curfews since 2023. That passed through the state legislature. Now, you would think mayor and an attorney would know the law.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why now I'm getting more frustrated. Now you can see me get animated.
Yeah.
Uh,
It took
yeah,
an hour to get here, man. I should have started with this.
yeah. Well, maybe you can edit it better. But the thing is, it's so absurd. And I can also tell you this: it's not going anywhere because the city of McAllen is growing. The population is going to almost double by 2040.
Yeah.
You name one growing metropolitan area that doesn't have a viable downtown.
Yeah.
It's in every city. McAllen will have one too. But when are you going to take ownership of it?
Right.
When are you going to say, this is our downtown? This is my downtown. It's not somebody else's downtown.
Right.
Oh, shut them all down, burn it all down. Really? Because one, that's not going to happen. So it's just somebody saying something dumb on the internet. But when are you going to take ownership of it? Yeah. Because again, to get rotated all the way back, City Hall is 2 blocks from here. Chamber of Commerce is 3 blocks from here. 14th Street Art District is across the street and 1 street and 3 streets over. Like, there is no more right in the middle of your city than downtown McAllen.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like what you're seeing there, then take ownership of it and change it. And I feel like I've been skating it, so I guess I'll finally give you an answer.
Yes.
No, I do not. I do not think that this administration as it stands actually even has a plan. They hadn't done anything up until this point. I don't know why Johnny Come Lately is going to start doing it now. If you wanted to prove to me that you actually were going to do something real, I think it's going to take a third party, somebody that comes in from somewhere else that's not connected to it, that could see it in without the overarching judgments,
right?
Without the their own interest, saying like, oh, I need. Plus, it's at the end of the day, I mean, urban development, land development. I doubt that they're really understanding that. I mean, to continue to build on the peripheries and to ignore your core as long as the city of McAllen, it's not just this administration, it was happening in the previous administration.
Yeah.
To ignore your core as long as the city of McAllen has, is really just, it's indefensible. And it's hard for me to understand it. And at the end of the day, you blew me up and said educated, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just a business owner that was trying to make it down here, hoping that the city was going to get on board and do something a little bit different at some point. And we did our best for as long as we can, but we're going to move. Wow. And the city, I mean, it makes me sad, man. I got a lot of money here that I cannot give back. But the city has not done me any favors at any point in the 13 years that we've been here. And I feel like what we've brought to the city is special. Right. I feel like what we've brought to the city is unique. We were just awarded a music grant through the state of Texas, which was vindicated because it kind of like, here's a little recognition for all the work you've been doing. And that's coming from Austin. That's not coming from our city hall right here.
Right.
So I don't know what to do.
Well, James, you're carrying your frustration for many years, so I'm sure you opened up a lot of eyes today about what is going on with the frustration downtown McAllen. So I hope somebody can listen to this and actually something happens.
You know what? I truly hope so, and I'll say a couple prayers tonight, and hope that nobody gets too offended by some of the things I said, and maybe goes in the right direction with stuff. I'm rooting for you to do so, but time and experience tells me to expect very little.
Well, all right, James, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insights, and try to get some sleep, man.
Yeah, I'm very tired. Stop calling.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Take care, bro.
Later.